Year 4. In English today, we're going to build on what you were doing yesterday with your short burst of writing, where you wrote about a bird and why you thought it should be the new king of the birds. But today we're going to think about showing speech. We're going to show a conversation between two birds. So we need to recall all the rules for how to punctuate direct speech. Now I'm going to go through a PowerPoint which has the rules on it, but it needs you to participate as well. So you might need to pause this video and use the PowerPoint as you're going along. So let me show you what we're going to have a look at. So I'm going to move myself down the screen a little bit so you can see better. We've got this these two sentences for you. Halak eunuch froze, staring at the cuckoo. Who are you? He stuttered. I am the great Quetzal, cuckoo replied. So what punctuation is needed in those two sentences to show the direct speech? So what you could do now is you can pause this video, you can go and have a go at writing that down and put all the punctuation in that you think is correct. And then you can come back to the video and I will show you where all the punctuation needed to be. Okay. So hopefully you're back and you've had a go at writing those two sentences yourself. I'm now going to show you 5 important rules for how to punctuate speech, and we'll see how many of them you remembered, because I know that we've written direct speech before, but it was a little while ago, so this is just a refresh. So inverted commas need to be used, and they need to show what's being spoken by the character. So you can see in red where I've put my inverted commas, because Halak eunuch says, who are you? And Cuckoo replies, I am the great Quetzal. Those are the two spoken parts that have inverted commas around them. You also need to have punctuation inside the inverted commas. Speech always ends with a piece of punctuation. Now, after who are you, that's a question, so it's got a question mark. I am the great Quetzal. The sentence is continuing. The sentence doesn't finish until the end of replied. Doesn't need an exclamation mark, doesn't need a question mark, so we put in a comma instead. The first word of a speech always needs to start with a capital letter. Now, we always use a capital letter for that anyway, so I'm sure you've got that one correct. But you also needed to make sure that who, that W there, needed to be a capital letter. So well done if you remembered that. Then, it's fine if you're beginning with speech, that's absolutely fine, but sometimes you are telling a story or doing some writing and then you add in the speech at the end of the sentence. And when you do that, you need to make sure that you separate the storytelling from the speech. So we've got Halak eunuch froze, staring at the cuckoo, comma, separate from the speech. Who are you? He stuttered. That's a tricky one to remember. So bonus points if you manage to get that one. Well done, you. And finally, each new speaker needs to have a new line. So it's just about when we're writing quite a lot of direct speech, it can be quite difficult to follow who's speaking if we don't remember to do that. So Halak eunuch froze, staring at the cuckoo. Who are you? He stuttered. New line for cuckoo. I am the great Quetzal, Cuckoo replied. So that final example you can see at the bottom has got every single piece of punctuation that you needed in there to get correct. Now there is a lot to remember when you're punctuating speech, so don't worry if you didn't remember all of them. You're going to have a little bit of a practice today using direct speech. So what you're going to do is you're going to imagine you've got the Quetzal and you've got the Roadrunner. And they're having a conversation. Now, the Quetzal needs to convince the Roadrunner that he should help him out and he should give him his feathers. So think, what conversation was going on between those two characters? What would they be saying to one another? And what we'd like you to do is write a detailed conversation between those two characters. Now we know that the Roadrunner did give the Quetzal his feathers, so we know what happens, but what was the conversation that happened before that? That's up to you to decide. And when you're writing a conversation, keep coming back to this, look at those 5 rules and try and get those in your speech. Okay, see you later. Bye.